Hello everyone, I am Tessellating Hexagons, still fighting through reviewing all of the songs from Super Saturday, which was, of course, yesterday. Third up is Hungary, and this year's A Dal is the biggest reason why watching national finals is the best kind of torture. You watch the shows, you pick your favourites, then watch in dismay as they reach the super final, and then get left by the wayside in favour of a fan favourite from a semi-final you didn't get to watch because it clashed with something else, or am I just projecting too much? Either way, the juries made their opinions quite clear, and of the final four, the Hungarian public went with, as I said, the fan favourite from the very beginning, Gábor Alfred Fehérváry, or to use his stage name, which is much easier to pronounce, Freddie, and the song Pioneer, which is in English, so I'm sure you're seeing a trend here, I don't need to translate that for you. So what are my initial thoughts then? Okay, I admit defeat, I absolutely see why this won A Dal this year. I was all in favour of Kállay Saunders making a comeback, and I did fall in love with András Petruska's song as well. But if I'd seen the first heat, or whichever of the semi-finals this was in, then I probably would have got on the hype train a lot sooner. I don't know why people are insisting that this is the year of Iceland versus Norway. Shut up, it isn't. This is the year that Hungary makes a serious bid for the crown. In my most humble of opinions, Norway's song pales in comparison, but I'll address that when I get to it. For now, it's Freddie's time to shine. As I said, before A Dal, I'd only actually heard the Kállay Saunders band song Who We Are, and then I watched A Dal because of it, but I didn't see the first heat, and I didn't see whichever semi-final Freddie was in, so I didn't get to hear this song. Literally until today. So, I was sort of salty that my favourite hadn't won, and my second favourite hadn't won, but then I heard this, and I'm just like, you know what, actually I could see why this won. So what are the good points then? Well, hold on to your butts, there is a lot that this song does absolutely beautifully. Firstly, it's one of those powerful anthemic songs that is absolutely capable of filling the stage and indeed the hall when it reaches Stockholm. And that's very important for a song to do because, in short, it's not going to get lost no matter how big the stage is. It sounds big, it sounds bold, and it sounds very impressive. And the power behind his voice really helps to sell that. Much like Iceland as well, it has lyrics of a winning theme, in that it's a story of coming into one's own, with a kind of David Bowie / Cheyenne Native American kind of outlook, which, to my understanding, is something to the effect of, to hell with what other people think, you were born to be you, now go and be the best you that you can be. In other words, it's like the story of heroes, but better told and much less masturbatory, by which I mean, this song doesn't falsely claim to be the greatest anthem ever heard. It doesn't get all up in your face like, look at me, are you sure you recognise which country I'm from? That's why you'll give me points. No, this song does everything right on its own merit. Take notes, mons! Now, something else I really do have to praise Freddie for, all joking aside, is the way the final refrain kind of interlocks with the bridge of the song. It gives the song a sense of progress. It gives the final refrain a sense of finality, by which I mean the song keeps moving. It never stops. It never lets itself stagnate. It keeps building on itself with every intent to impress, with every intent to sound as though it's anthemic, it's telling a story, and this story is reaching its climax. It's basically, it's in it to win it. That said, just because it's impressive doesn't mean it's perfect, and so, what are the bad points in my opinion then? Well, I have two major beeves, yes, beeves, look it up, with this song. I'll begin with the pettier of the two. In the refrain, the first three lines sound completely fine. I have no problem with them. But the last line just ruins the flow somewhat, so to speak. It's only fear, become a pioneer, he says. That bothers me. He makes the rhyme much too soon. Up to this point, the syllabic pattern of the song has been say a word and then wait a little while and then rhyme, whereas this, it's say a word, then rhyme it immediately, and it sounds wrong to me. It almost sounds amateurish. And on a semi-related note, as far as the lyrics go, the line just before that, a million lies in a million temples, I personally don't have a problem with that in the slightest. But how much are you willing to bet that someone is going to assume that that's just an attack against religion, and then take major offence to it and be like, oh no, Hungary shouldn't be allowed to compete because it's saying that my religion is a lie. And no. He's not saying that. You are reading between the lines far too much. You're putting words into his mouth. It's times like these that I'm really glad the USA can't take part in Eurovision, because that seems like something that an American viewer would decide. My second major criticism is the exact wording of the lyrics. Of course, I can't criticize him too harshly for that, because, I mean, English isn't exactly his native language, and that's completely fine. It's just that his enunciation, coupled with the strange word choices, makes it really hard to understand what he's saying at various points in the song unless you can see the lyrics written in front of you, at which point you're just like, oh right, he's clearly saying that. To be fair, I did have the same difficulty with Federica Falzon in the 2014 Junior Eurovision, but that's more because she's an opera singer, so her voice is already going to be hard to get into. It's just, his diction, it needs a little bit of work. But luckily, that's something that can be improved with practice. I mean, look at Lena Meyer-Landrut. She got over her accent really quickly, in time to represent Germany in 2011, straight after winning, with a song that was all in English, and you could barely even tell that she ever had a questionable accent in the first place. And Sin Plus from Switzerland in 2012, their national final performance, had a very similar problem with their accents, but they fixed it in time for the contest, and so I'm sure Freddie will be completely fine when May rolls around. Now, score out of 10. Ooh, how would I rate it with my personal opinion and stuff? I almost feel like I'm being a traitor to Kállay Saunders by saying this, but I have to give this song a 10 out of 10. His voice is both perfect in terms of vocal capacity for the song, and in that it's just the right kind of pained to fit the lyrics and the message he wants to convey. This song hits hard in every sense. It impresses in virtually every aspect. The staging, the instrumentation, his vocals, the message. He's considered every aspect of it. He's confident, he's humble, and he's definitely one to watch. Hungary are a very serious contender for the win this year. So, watch out. Now, compared to last year, well, did I not just say they're a contender to win? That kind of says it all, really. This is clearly better. I still don't understand why Wars for Nothing was so well liked. I get that it was the right message at the right time, but the song, as I said last year, didn't really offer you the cookie, as it were. It didn't give you a motivation to listen to it. You had to want to listen to it, and if you didn't, it felt like it was being forced upon you. And I can understand the beauty of it and the simplicity of it, but it just didn't impress me in the slightest. It didn't offer a solution to the problem it was talking about. It felt like it just gave the impression of, I know this is a problem in the world, and I'm not going to do anything to fix it, but at least I know it's a thing, which automatically makes me a better person than you. In short, it bored me, it didn't impress me, didn't do anything special. Pioneer, meanwhile, already had to overcome the fact that I was a little bit salty that Who We Are didn't win the selection. And it did so in spades, to the point where it wouldn't surprise me if this wins the competition outright. Sorry, Boggy, but Freddie's got you beaten hands down. So will it qualify? Without a doubt. This song has hype for days from the public, and it has just the right kind of staging and live delivery and all of that the juries love to fawn over. The only thing that could possibly keep him from the final is if he doesn't turn up to perform the song. It'll sail through to the final, probably in the top 3, possibly even the top 1 of its semi-final, and then land distinctly in the top 5 this year's grand final. Considering the new voting system, this will be Hungary's highest scoring song ever. Maybe even 3rd, 2nd, possibly even 1st. No matter what. Pioneer is a force to be reckoned with, so the other fan favourites should really watch their backs. So I will say to you, not that you need it, good luck Hungary, you're gonna turn a lot of heads in Stockholm, and you're gonna get a lot of points, and I look forward to seeing just how many. See you in Sweden.